Hey everyone, Angelo here, homeless filmmaker in LA, living in my car for over 2 years now, and I'm working nights at a warehouse. I had the weekend off, and I need the job, but it's also depressing thinking about going back. And I'm able to, get around that because I think, well, first of all, I needed the job real bad, so how would it make sense for me to quit it now? And also the fact that it's going to get me closer to what I want, which is being able to, well, first of all, maintain my car, afford healthy food, but to be able to afford new film gear, new camera, maybe two cameras eventually, I don't know, and a laptop, upgrade my editing software, who knows what else, and eventually do my own productions that are bigger than this, and maybe even screenwriting courses or screenwriting coaching. That all can be pretty pricey too. But I'd really like to do it. That's the one thing I sort of wish I could do, but I don't regret it. It's like, hey, I am where I am. I've been doing a lot of screenwriting, and that's partly just pushing myself to do it. Oh, my allergies are acting up. Because I know it's important in dealing with this down feeling I have regarding work, because I've had Friday off through today is Sunday because of the new year. Really, I would have rather been working. When I get these days off, I still do a lot. I still stay busy, but then, oh, my allergies. It's kind of depressing thinking, okay, going back to work tomorrow, and it's never that bad, or as bad as I always fear it will be. And I'm remembering how it was when I was a bouncer too. I was a bouncer for 5 years. And I was always depressed about going into work. And it's not that the job was that bad either. It was actually pretty nice. I just stood around. I got to know a lot of the people there. A lot of the customers were cool with me. It wasn't like I was always fighting or anything. That was uh, a minority of the time, a small minority. Most of the time, it was just checking IDs, standing around, being bored, like being depressed that I'm just watching a bunch of other people have fun that I have no desire to have, like this. Not what I'm really interested in doing, and wondering how can they even do this. Like this is not what I want to do, but it was a easy enough job. I gotta hold my nose, and held on to it for a while, even though, oh man, every day I went, I was just wondering what could go wrong tonight. And that bad scenario never truly came, even though I did get jumped a few times and sucker punched and all that. Had a gun flashed at me. But broke my first bone there. Broke just the tip of my pinky. It's fine now, but anyways. I was thinking back to that too, and just how miserable I was there. And just thinking, I can't let this be something that just happens to me. That's when it feels most depressing. Like, oh, I have this job and it's just happening to me that I have to go to it. I have to think of it as, no, I'm actually going to it. I'm not going to let stuff be out of my control there, even though the one thing that really does bother me is still the lack of mask enforcement. It's gotten better. Oh, man. Went to the park today. Okay, first of all, to go to the bathroom, if I know I gotta take a really big number two, I gotta drive about 7 miles to a park with a porta potty, and there's two porta potties right next to each other that are like the good ones that I like to use. There's another one, there's no lock on the door. I can put a stick in there, but it's all fucked up, and inside it's all trashed. These other porta potties, well, one of them, the best one, because it has a hook where you can put your jacket and stuff and backpack. A couple times I went there and there was some young guy just sitting there. And I could smell, it smelled like he was smoking. I don't know what he was smoking exactly. But that's really annoying because it's like, why the fuck didn't you lock the door? I felt like saying, like, why aren't you fucking locking the door? He would sit there for hours and hours because I would hang out at the park all day. But anyways, that one, the nice one, trashed. Like, disgusting. Somebody's jeans turned inside out and laid up in there. I think there was someone's shorts on the ground, whatever. The other one, clean, but the seat was removed from the porta potty. Well, I used that one, the one with the seat removed. I bring my own toilet paper. I just laid it down there and used it. Man, I had to go. But anyways, so even something like that, I had to let it not be depressing, but like be something where I thought of it as, it's not happening to me, I'm going to go do it. Like, I'm just going to go take care of it. I got to do this thing, rather than look at it as something that's making me overcome my inertia. Like, oh, I just want to sit here and do nothing. I know that's a bum attitude. I never want to have that attitude. It'll get me nowhere. So anyways, I did a bunch of stuff today, did a bunch of writing, was glad about that. Limited my diet. I still maybe ate a little too much, but ate pretty well. And really, I'm lucky how well I can eat now, because I don't pay rent and I can't cook food. So if I eat healthy food, it's got to be cooked out. So I'll either have big salads or like egg white meals, or I cheated today. I had eggs Benedict, partly because it was cheap and it was a fairly small meal. This one place I go to, they have way too big of meals. But anyways, so I did a bunch of writing. And even that, see, it's like no matter how well things can go, like I did a bunch of writing. I was glad about that. Screenwriting. I'm writing movies. And even that got me thinking, oh man, like, I wish it was better what I was writing, or I wish I was writing more, or I wish I was closer to producing this movie, or getting it made somehow. And I can't be like that. Or just even writing it just makes me want to have so much more time to write. I'm like, damn it, tomorrow I'm going to have to get back to work. And it just makes me have to be patient with myself. And same thing with going to work. It's like, I have to think it's not just something that's happening to me. It's something that I'm deciding to do. No one at my job is putting as much pressure on me to do well at there. If anything, it's the opposite. It's the total opposite. I'm putting pressure on them to run things better there. I wish they would pay us more. But to enforce mask usage, it's gone up. It's gotten better since I've complained about 25 times, but it's still not where it needs to be. And I'm not even going to mention the numbers of infections of the Trump virus in LA, because that right there is anxiety inducing and overwhelming. So I got to think, okay, this is not totally out of my control. I wear 2 masks. I pronounce that weird. I wear a face shield with it. When I'm talking about the face shield, this thing. I've got goggles, but man, I tried wearing them at the food bank. They were giving me such a headache when I was actually trying to read stuff, because there's like this much of my peripheral vision down here and on the sides that's like curved because of the goggles that, you know, they block out the sides so that at least, you know, the Trump virus basically can't get in through the sides if it's in aerosol form. But it was giving me a headache. I'm like, oh, there's no way I could be working and have to read packages quickly and then sort them. So that was $20 right there, kind of a waste, but I'll keep the goggles in case I need them someday. But basically, I keep my distance from people as much as possible. I try not to let anyone talk up to me in my face. I'll literally back away from someone who's talking too close to me, even with their mask on. I'm not always perfect about it, but I just have to think of it as no one's putting this pressure on me where it's like I've got to perform perfectly there. It's totally not like that. There are people, most people are good workers there, but there's some people, I swear, they just stand. One guy, it's funny, he's like the most jacked guy there. He's got big muscles, so you know he's been working out for years. He's got this blank look on his face, like he's dead inside. And I had to ask him, like, hey, can you help me? Because he was just standing while I was sorting packages before the conveyor belt moved. I mean, he just had this look like... And he'd pick packages and throw them at my feet and hit my feet. And I was like, I'm not even going to let it bother me. It's not even worth it. This guy's so miserable. And I'm so much better off than he is. But anyways, yeah, it just kind of got to me today, thinking, damn, like, I'm losing my time, losing my fun. But I can't think of it like that. I got to think of it as, I'm not going to let it get the better of me. I'm going to use this to my advantage. And even though it's taking too long to save money, it's still, hey, at least I'm saving money. The one big thing for me that now I've gotten out of the way is I had a big car repair bill that I financed at this car repair shop for my old Honda Civic. That was like $1,200 for a bunch of suspension. Well, the struts, tires. I needed new tires, struts, bushings, all this crap that I'm not sure I totally needed it. The tires I definitely needed. I drove across the country with those, and those tires were like 5 years old. But the car was destroyed like a month later in a crash, and I'm still had this $1,200 bill. I had like $700 or $800 left to pay on it. Finally paid that off. So now that that's paid off, I'm in a better position. We'll see if the packages slow down or not. But see, I'm not even trying to worry about whether there's less work to do at work or not. That to me is bullshit, that mentality. I'm just trying to think, good. If it's work, even better. Like if it's difficult, even better. You know, if it's an opportunity to try and make sure I'm safe when other people don't want to wear their masks, even better. It's a touchy thing whether I should say something to some people or not, because, you know, really I'm not even supposed to. The managers are supposed to, and they haven't really been on top of it. The general manager, I can say he has. He goes around and does it, but it's like, why is it just one guy doing this? After all the complaints I've made, and people are aware of the health risks, and people still congregate in groups with their masks down. I'm like, great, just got to keep my mind out of it and not even worry about it as much as it bothers me. And just have that mentality. I don't even like to say mentality. Just think to myself in that moment, good, even better. This is work. Good, I'll do what the next person won't do to make money, and I'm not going to just waste it on stuff that, simple things, just to, I don't like to say simple pleasures, but just things that are like kind of going to be a waste. I don't know what to say, like idle pleasures. I don't want to sound too much like a crotchety old person, like, oh, these young people today with their music and their video games. Not like that. Nothing wrong with that. But just the fact that, well, I can say it's different from what I would have spent the money on when I was in my 20s or 10 years ago or whatever. Where back then it was just kind of like, I'll save money when I can. I'll do what I can to make films and make YouTube videos and work in videography. Now it's like, I know that I want to get as much into my film gear as possible and see how I work that out and try and come up with some plans so I can make some videos. Maybe YouTube can be a full-time thing for me, or even if it's not, directing videos for other people, commercials, music videos. We'll see. I don't like to just put that out there and say it because, I don't even know what that plan is right now. So anyways, I'm just saying how I try and wrap my mind around being depressed about my job and trying to think, this is not the time to be depressed about it. Like, it would, make me so miserable if I really let it get to me. I have to think, good, even better. I'm living in my car, even better. I'm going to do what the next person won't do. Even though, yeah, the job should pay more and all, and we should be safer there. Even better that I'm going to try and make it a safer place to work, that I'm not going to let things out of my control bother me too much, and that I'll speak up on the things that I need to, and that I'll just use my money and also make these videos and keep writing. Glad, like, I keep just writing and filling up notebooks and getting there somehow, even though when I write a lot, it becomes apparent how little progress I'm making. I'm like, oh, come on, like, I haven't cracked this story yet, and I'm still dissociated somewhat, and all that is bothering me. But thinking, good, even better, I'll somehow get through it. Don't think worst case scenario, because that's what I used to do all the time, and I still do. Who am I kidding? I still do think worst case scenario all the time. I can't help it, but it was so bad, like back when I was working at a movie theater, and I was 20 years old, and I was a manager there, making like $9.25 an hour. Holy shit, I was underpaid and overworked, and the GM was an asshole. He was one of those, like, make it happen. I don't care what needs to be done, like abusive. But by the end of my time there, I was working there for about 18 months. And the first 3 months, I was an usher and concession manager, 3 or 4. But it was so fatiguing and it was so stressful and people were abusive that by the end of the job, I was literally like waking up and like seeing black when I looked up because I thought the world was ending. Like I was so depressed and every little thing bothered me so much. I kind of wish I could have stayed longer in a way, but what can you do? Let those experiences get away from you. But I was so miserable, and one of my bosses was a friend of mine. He's like, you don't want to stay on just like a day a week? I was like, no, I can't. Like, I'm so miserable, I can't do it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just trying to think, okay, like this isn't just going to be something that happens to me. Like, what am I, a little kid? No, I'm an adult. This is something I'm going to do. I'm going to, make the most of, make the best opportunity for me as possible. And I'm sure once I stop working this job, I'll forget all about it. And really, it's not even that bad. It's mostly just sorting boxes. We don't have quotas like at Amazon where I've heard you got to like scan 9 packages a minute or something like that. You're worked to death. This isn't really like that. Much simpler than that. And it's not even like, massive hours. I kind of wish it was more hours because it goes by so quickly because I'm working so fast. Like I'm so busy all the time. There's not really much time to think about, how long I've spent there. And most days, I don't know, around say I had a brown experience at the porta potty today, 6 or 7 hours at work. Sometimes I have brown experiences and whatever. I'm getting those jokes are getting a little tired for me, the toilet jokes, but not really. So I think maybe I'll do a little more writing tonight and try and just stay calm, because no matter how well things go, there's always something that feels destabilizing about what I'm going through. Another, even if it's just something simple like showering in the street, I'm like, it could be looked at as a chore, but I try and look at it as like good, even better. I'm going to go out and do this thing. I'm going to make sure I'm clean and just take care of it. And try and just be loose enough to write where, I can be open to ideas. That's kind of the worst thing, when I'm so tense that I can't let new ideas form because like I'm so wrapped up in myself, I can't see, I can't be open to ideas that arrive. For me, I feel like ideas just come. They don't, or they're always there and you just find them. You don't necessarily make them up, but it's like you discover them in a way. But I won't talk too much about that because I feel like you really shouldn't, unless you've got some proven record in something. Nobody needs to hear you talk about how you do some process or whatever. But for now, that's just kind of how I get through at least the part where I'm just feeling down about work. So, I don't know, maybe someone enjoyed hearing that. I feel like I just needed to make the video, put something out there, connect to someone. What's worse? Having this feeling and just burying it, or at least making a video about it and trying to do something. All right.